Okay, we got Kate Rooney. Oh, Kate Rooney. Get Kate Rooney out here. I got a shook one with you. Come on, get the Fight On song. Kate Rooney, KRON 4 Sports, the pride of Lowell High School, doing the damn thing at KRON 4. Her Instagram game has gone up to another level during these playoffs. I see you, Kate Rooney. I see you. Good morning.
You know, Bonte, I really feel like hearing that USC fight song gets me extra fired up. And I'm going to give your producer, Stan Lubman, a little credit because he's the one who played it last time I came on with you guys. And he played it today. And sandwiched in between that, I've been trying to step up my Instagram and Twitter game a little bit.
I have seen that. Have you seen it? Have you noticed, Shasta?
Yeah, I'm a sports reporter. That video, because I've seen it all over. There's many different versions of it. Like, you know, I've seen like, I'm a golfer and da-da-da-da-da-da. But you did the sports reporter one, and I got a kick out of it.
Thank you. I did it with my colleague, Aaron Wilson. We had so much fun coming up with it. Little behind the scenes for people of what sports reporters go through. And, you know, just trying to take the people who follow us there on game day. So we had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, Aaron also a roaster,
Stop
too.
asking me for tickets is the moral of that story.
There you go. Shout out to Aaron, too, from Memphis, who's covered the Memphis Grizzlies for so many years. She's a roaster. We were talking game about it a show a couple weeks ago. She was like, man, these callers.
You know what, Kate,
anyway.
I'm going to interrupt Bonte. Bonte keeps calling me Sausalito Shasky, and it really it makes me angry. And I feel like we're discriminating towards Sausalito. Sausalito's a great place to live, is it not? If someone could afford to live, I don't live there, but if someone could afford to live in Sausalito, it would be a great step up. If you hear, hey, I live in Sausalito, you're like, damn, you've done pretty well for yourself, correct?
Absolutely. In fact, I tried to live in Sausalito a couple years ago, and it didn't work out. So I guess I wasn't good enough for Sausalito. But you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and claim San Francisco. There's nothing wrong with that either, Shasky, and I know you do too.
Do
Exactly.
we not think that in Sausalito we're eating with our pinkies up, we're a little softer? We call him Sausalito Shasky because the Frisco Shasky, who's like, you can't beat us, yada yada yada. This guy gets nervous. Over the last 3 years I've worked with him, I never knew how nervous he gets on game day. He's always picking the other team. Like, Sausalito Shasky, you know what it needs. You know what it needs when it comes to Sausalito Shasky. You know the reputation of Sausalito or any of these, softer cities.
I tell you what, there's some Niners fans out there. I hear from the folks in Marin a lot. There's a lot of Niners fans there. They might be eating their oysters and drinking their Riesling while they watch the game, but they're as passionate as anyone else.
All right, they are. Well
Thank you.
I eat in Sausalito sometimes, but Shasky knows why we call him Sausalito Shasky. Now he made it all deep, and so we'll call you Sonoma or something. I don't know. We'll find another city
Sonoma's
for you.
nice, too.
We'll call you Burlingame Shasky. Burlingame Butcher. All right, anyway, let's get to the football game. Deebo Samuel. Do you think he's playing on Sunday, Kate? Because I think he's suiting up and playing.
Yeah, I do. I'd be really surprised if Deebo wasn't playing. It'd be a different story if they were coming out here and telling us, he's got a separated shoulder, he's got a broken shoulder, he's even got, some sort of tear in his shoulder. Doesn't sound like that's any of the above, or if it is, they're keeping it super close to the vest. But even if it is a tear, I would expect him to play. All Kyle Shanahan will say is that he's in a lot of pain. These guys are used to playing through pain. Exactly. Deebo's played through pain a ton before in his career. He is not going to want to miss this game. And you know that his teammates want him out there with them. We heard Brandon Ayuk yesterday say that he was directly asked, and he said that he expects Deebo to be out there. So maybe a little inside info there from Brandon Ayuk. I don't know what kind of conversations they've been having, but I would be very surprised if Deebo's not out there. I think they are keeping it a little bit close to the vest. This is Kyle Shanahan's version of a little bit of trickery, right? He's not necessarily known for trickery on the field, but maybe a little bit of trickery here, trying to keep that information away from the Lions as long as he possibly can.
Gamesmanship.
Do you think Kyle Shanahan has the most pressure coming into this game?
Out of everyone this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. There's a lot of pressure on Shanahan for multiple reasons. First of all, his reputation. I mean, he's still got a reputation as the guy who can't win the big game. I mean, look at Jim Harbaugh, who had that reputation, certainly when he left San Francisco, had it for a long time at Michigan until this year, and that's followed Shanahan ever since he's been in Atlanta. And people get nervous in the fourth quarter with Shanahan because he seems to be a stickler for his own game plans. He's a big believer in himself. That's great. We all got to believe in ourselves. I believe in myself. I know you guys believe in yourself. But sometimes he believes in what he has out there a little too much, isn't able to adjust as much as people who are watching the game would like him to. How many times have you guys been yelling at your TV and saying, why aren't you giving the ball to Deebo Samuel in the final 13 minutes of Super Bowl 54. So that's
how about Saturday, Kate? Kate, I don't mean to interrupt you. How about Saturday? How about you hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey? You used him and wore him down to a nub all regular season against a bunch of also-rans, but come the biggest game of the year where it's win or go home, you're like, nah, you know what? We're going to keep throwing in a rain game where my quarterback doesn't see the field. Like, it was driving me insane.
That was a big head-scratcher for me. I mean, I was going on programs throughout the week telling people I thought it was going to be a 40-carry game and that Christian McCaffrey was going to take the brunt of that. I was really surprised that they didn't try to establish the run early in that way. I still don't really understand. Shanahan's been asked about it a little bit and didn't really give an answer that's satisfying for anyone either. I'm going to go ahead and say again, I expect them to come out of the gates with Christian McCaffrey this week. That's what they got to do. That's how you got to establish that ground game. And then let the defensive line get tired out there, right? They've got a really tough defensive line in Detroit, but Christian McCaffrey's as good as anyone, and if anyone can get through them, he can. But back to your original question about Shanahan, there are going to be so many questions if they don't get it done. This really feels like the window for the 49ers in a lot of ways. I know fans have been feeling that all year long, and he does have something to prove starting with this game.
Yeah, if he loses, we're talking to Kate Rooney here on the Boxer and Gerzer guest line. Kate Rooney doing a terrific job over at KRON 4. What is this, year 6 or 7 for you over there at KRON, Kate? How long you been there?
Year 6.
It'll
be 6 years this fall. Wow. 6 years covering this is my 6th season covering the 49ers.
You're doing an excellent job there. Kate Rooney here on the Boxer and Gerzer guest line. So Brock Purdy, obviously, a lot of microscope on him. I expect him to bounce back. Look, if they don't throw it 39 times, I'm okay with that. What was your takeaway from Brock Purdy's performance Saturday night against Green Bay? Do you expect that same performance against the Lions?
No, I don't. I went back and looked at some of the way Brock Purdy has played after he's had a subpar game. And the biggest stretch where he didn't do well was obviously those 3 games, in the week 6, 7, and 8 in the regular season where he didn't have Deebo Samuel, didn't have Trent Williams. But after that, they came out of the bye, and he had one of his best games against Jacksonville. He had one of his best games against the Eagles after not playing super well the week before. Same thing after they played the Ravens. He came out and had a really good game against the Commanders. So he's already shown that he has the ability to put what happened last week behind him, come out, bounce back. Something was definitely off with him. You can't deny that. But at the end of the day, no one remembers the first 3 quarters of the game in history. Should this Packers game end up having any kind of historical context, they will only remember that fourth quarter drive. That's what matters. Yep. I do find it a little troubling that I'm hearing people say, oh, wins are all that matters. Wins are his best stat, because that's what we said about Jimmy Garoppolo too, right?
Right.
But I think Brock has backed that up with some stats that Jimmy was never able to put up. And the way I've heard his teammates talk about him all season in the locker room, it's a different type of confidence than it was with Jimmy. I may have said this before, but it felt like they were always trying to, defend Jimmy a little bit, and they don't have to do that with Brock. They barely even have time for those kind of questions. So I would fully expect him to come out and have a bounce back game and play well.
So you went up to Novato.
Secondary that struggled a little bit.
Oh, my bad. I apologize. You went up to Novato and Moraine Catholic, correct? And did a little piece on Jared Goff?
I did. I mean, he's the hometown boy, right? I think even though people here are hating the Lions this week, people have love for Jared Goff, who grew up supporting the Niners, loving the Niners, wore number 16 because of Joe Montana. We all know about that. His coach, Coach Mozzie at Marin Catholic, confirmed that when we talked to him this week, and he's been such a big supporter of Marin Catholic to this day. When they went to the state championship, he made a video for the team, encouraging them, congratulating them, and he ended up paying for all of their championship rings.
Wow.
So just a real nice gesture by a guy who has had a lot of adversity in the NFL and kind of keeps proving his doubters wrong. And, I think people in the Bay Area, even if they're not rooting for him this weekend, are kind of proud to be able to call him one of the Bay Area's own.
All right, Kate, you shoot it straight from the hip. Who's winning on Sunday, Lions or Niners?
I still think it's the Niners. I thought that the minute I saw them beat Green Bay, I just thought, they can beat either the Lions or the Bucs. And, I think after I've delved into the Lions a little bit more this week, I do think it is going to be a tougher game than maybe I initially anticipated. But if they play a good game, the 49ers, pound for pound, top to bottom, do have more talent than the Lions. This is their game to lose. I hate this expression, but I'm going to use it anyway. I really think this is a case of if the 49ers don't win, it'll be because they beat themselves.
Right.
It's their game to lose. They have all the pieces in place. They just need to get it done.
All right, Kate. Can't wait to see you Sunday at Levi Stadium. I'm with you there. If the Niners take care of the football, they're going to win this going away. I truly believe that. Kate, keep doing that great report on Jared Goff going up to Murray Catholic. You guys are doing a very good job at Crawford. You guys are everywhere. Sports reporter Kate Rooney here to Boxer Girls and Guest Line.
Thanks, Kate.
Have fun covering the title game, Kate. We'll see you in Vegas.
Love talking to you guys. See ya.
All right, Kate.
She always makes me smile.
Everybody in the chat, ease up on Shasky. I didn't realize you were getting so angry about Sausalito Shasky.